Hey viewers, welcome to another game of the Casual Pro Gamer. Today we are once again doing a game between VortiX as the Zerg player in the bottom left and MAdel as the Protoss player in the top right. And yeah, they already played the game against each other. I only have two. I don't know whether this is a best of 3 or 5 or 7 or whatever. It's from the HP trophy number 2. So it's a tournament game, and yeah, I just don't have the entire tournament. I just have 2 games, so it doesn't mean that the same guy that won game 1 is going to win game 2. I just have no clue. And that actually rhymed. Anyhow, we will see some yeah, some stuff coming up, and once again the safe build here for our Protoss players. So not going to fast expand. This is of course a really hard base to defend because of this huge gap that is here. It is doable, however. If you place your pylon and your gateway and then your cybernetics core, you already have like almost everything, and then you put your cannon behind it and you can wall up this gap with some units. But it is risky on this map, and he is better off going for the safe build. Sorry, I have to cough all the time. Anyhow, yeah, we're just going to have to see what this Zerg player makes out of it. Spawning pool coming up, so really early pressure incoming, I guess. But not so much because he's going for the expansion here. So yeah, it's not. He doesn't want to go for early super pressure. He just wants to go for early queens, I guess. Because queens can only be produced after you have your spawning pool. And yeah, there goes the queen. Immediately doing that. And yeah, with the queen out, he should be able to produce a lot of drones. He's going to produce a second queen next to... yeah, this queen is going to inject larva over here. And then run to this base, and then he's going to produce another queen over here, and then, well, the second queen will come out just after he needs to re-inject the larvae. It's not called inject, it's called spawn larvae, I believe. Yeah, there it is, spawn larvae. So yeah, he's going to run that over to his other base, and yeah, by the time this base comes up, this queen will have 50 energy again. Well, not at the same time, obviously, because that would be too perfect. But it is well underway to regenerating that. Already had 15 up. And yeah, by the time this queen is done, yeah, you can see the larvae now spawning. And this queen now comes up. So it's about, well, it's a little bit of a gap between it, but as you can see, his reaction speed is way lower than that little gap, so it's not a big deal. Anyhow, we have a zealot here holding this base, and a few zerglings going to find that one zealot. They're going to group up, they're going to attack, and they're going to win. No, not actually sure. Zealots can deal with up to 4 zerglings depending on the positioning and the micro. But the positioning, of course, didn't allow him to, or shouldn't allow him to get surrounded by all 4. So if he stood in here, the zealot would have won easily without any micro. And now, because he got surrounded, he got 2, but almost got a 3rd one. Well, it regenerates, but he almost got a 3rd one, but it almost is not good enough. And he did get sniped. So yeah, here you see the wall off that you would need for that that early expand. Only, well, this is all gateways now and pylons, and he doesn't actually have a forge. So not going for the forge means that you have no cannons out. Which means that you have an advantage in that early game, in that later game, because you don't spend money on those kind of things, or well, resources, I guess. But instead you're going to spend those resources on actual useful things. Of course in the late game, yeah, that is your advantage, but in the early game you're going to have a big disadvantage because your bases are undefended if you don't have an army there, so you can't push out at all. And yeah, he can't see that guy. That guy is just out of range. He's on the high ground. And the Zerglings over here, they are going to run around everything. Oh no, they're going to go back. They're going to go back and defend their base. So they're going to come in from the side, and Zerglings are excellent against Stalkers. But I don't know against the sentries. I guess they're good against sentries as well. But yeah, these roaches are just the backbone of the Zerg versus Protoss army, because they deal with Stalkers very efficiently, and they are armored, so they take a little bit more damage from the Stalkers, but the Stalkers take double damage from them. So it's really, yeah, the Stalkers really at the disadvantage here. Of course, the Zealots are at an advantage against the roaches, but they need way more. You need way more Zealots than just the one to defeat them. And there is once again the burst of Zerglings, but the Zerglings are going to get sniped here. And yeah, of course the one Zealot is going to die as well. And the pylon is going down. So yeah, it's a bunch of Stalkers that actually survived, and a bunch of Roaches that actually survived. And we'll have to see. So the yeah, evolution chamber is coming up, and an infestation pit. But what I wanted to say is, yeah, all of these drones that he produced in that time that fight was going on are going to be really useful, because he has a larger income now than he should have had, because he won that fight. So he went into that fight with an income that was lower, and now has an equal income, at least equal harvesters. Of course, how you divide them between gas and minerals, that's up to you. That all depends on what you want to build. But with similar harvesters, you have, or with the same amount of harvesters, you have the same amount of potential resources. And yeah, the hatchery coming up. So going for a third base, and let's see if the Protoss player will let him do that. So Protoss obviously doesn't see this. There is no observer in the area or anything like that. And is the Protoss player actually going to run into this sniping army? Well, this thingy can actually see up till here somehow. Or, well, somewhere around there at least. Don't know the exact range, of course. Oh wow, you can actually snipe it from there. Yeah, so he is going to run into this little army here of yeah, purely roaches, and that means that he should be able to defeat that as long as he can get his zealots in first. But the zealots don't have charge, so they're going to be very slow to move in. The force field's not good enough. The force field's actually really sloppy, because they didn't split the army at all, and normally they're used to split the army in two, so you can kill half the army and then deal with the other half later. But because of this miss, because he missed his force field, he may actually have be in trouble here. And yeah, another attempt, but this time the Zerg player retreated before the force fields actually went down. So not a big deal. Really nice micro there by the Zerg player. He is keeping his army alive for the longest time here. And it seems that the infestors are up now. They all have about 45 energy. Is that what it's called? I think it's called energy. And with that energy they can do several great things. The best of which is fungal growth. My personal favorite is the infested Terran, but that's because it looks cool, not because it is actually useful. Now the fungal growth is by far the most useful one, because it can snipe air units, it can snipe whole groups of units, and it does extra damage to armored. So wow, look at those roaches coming in. Just an insane amount of roaches. And the roach is actually going to not move in. Okay. He's trying to get those force fields out. So that's 4 force fields for 1 roach. That is a good deal. And I don't know if he's not getting the burrow, because burrow with roaches is excellent, especially with tunnel and claws. So yeah, that one was sacrificed to see what was here. And of course he can also do that with an overlord. But yeah, he had roaches in the area, so might as well use a roach for that. And are we going to be able to snipe them from 2 sides? So yeah, the force field's going down. The force fields are the only thing that can really help this this Protoss player defeat this army. And here he splits it correctly, but he needed 1 more force field to actually zone out the rest. And the top army wins. The bottom army kind of plays equal, but that means that the Zerg army in general is just oh, a nice split there. And actually going for the destructible rocks. So now he got a nice split, but it was too late. Yeah, there are too many roaches out. And he just lost on economy, because his 3rd base is now coming up, where the 4th base for the Zerg is coming up. But he didn't harass enough. There were too many harvesters. Yeah, 76 versus 55. Just too much income for our Zerg player because of that first fight. That first fight allowed him, because he won that, it allowed him to build a whole bunch of drones and just saturate his 3rd base immediately. And then yeah, he could just build roaches and roaches and roaches, because he still had his army from that first fight, or well, most of his army, and he could just go from there. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. GG.